Hello, everyone. I hope you are doing absolutely fantastic. It is a pleasure to be with you this Sunday morning. I hope that whether it's a morning or afternoon, wherever you are, or evening, because you are all around the world, you are doing fantastic. It is hard to believe that we are in October, and I have all sorts of updates and news for you. It is really great to see you all. Hello, Bonnie, Beverly, Kelly, Mary, Ray, Carol, Barb. I first need to explain where I am because this spot probably looks a little bit different. Well, I am live on location today in my sister's special closet. This is her dressing room, and we're going to be going into her jewelry box a little bit later, and I'm going to show some of her treasures to you all. It's going to be so much fun. And I do have some other updates for you, so just some general channel updates as well as personal updates. So without further ado, I want to jump right in. It is absolutely fantastic to see you all. And hello, Lee. Hello, Teresa. Hello, Bonnie, Diane. I hope I've kept up with all of the names. Apologies if I have not. It is a really fabulous nook that she has. And she is far away from my hometown of Vancouver. She is actually based in Montreal. And I happen to be in Montreal, and I'll share those details with you now. Hello, Jane. Hello, Lisa. Hello, Steffi. Hello, Monica. So, as you all know, I've been very busy with work, and my day job, I am a technology executive in the retail field. And I finished up some major commerce initiatives where we re-implemented a new website, point of sale. We did some warehouse sales. And then I was approached by a headhunter for a new opportunity. And it was an incredible opportunity with a legacy brand that has been around in Canada for almost 100 years with well over 100 stores. And they needed a new IT leader. So this is why I find myself in Montreal now. I have not moved, but I am going to be visiting much more often as they are headquartered here. And I am in starting my second week of onboarding on Monday. So really exciting times for me personally and professionally. I had a lot going on for the last little bit as well. So I was doing some presentations at conferences. There's a conference called eTail that focuses on e-commerce and retail technology. So today I'm actually going to share with you some of the jewelry looks that I've been pulling together as I have been traveling more. You can't bring everything with you, so you've got to choose a couple of great things. And then in addition to that, I'm going to share with you a little treasure that I picked up for myself too, with a crazy, funny, wild story. So without further ado, let's make sure you all get in that #win, because we are going to be doing 2 mug giveaways today. We are going to be giving away the new, I call this Treasures and Treats mug that has treats and treasures on it. And we will also be giving away a classic mug. So enter #win, the classic mug you also all know and love. And the winners will be able to choose whatever they like between these two. And I do also want to make sure that we give a extra special shout out to some of our new Extra Scoop Club members, because we are absolutely going to be resuming with all of those activities. This channel is not going away. I thank you for your patience as I have been sorting through everything that's going on in my life. But we must say hello to Tamara, Ritzy, Lori, Desiree, and Fran. Thank you so much for joining. We do have an Extra Scoop event that will be coming up towards the tail end of October, and I'll share some details. I'll be posting all about that as well. So without further ado, I'm going to share a little bit of insight into what I've been up to. So this was the title slide to the presentation that I did in Toronto just 2 weeks ago, called Building a Winning E-commerce Tech Stack. So I had the opportunity to be the keynote as well as to sit on a panel. And of course, I took that opportunity to wear some of my favorite jewelry. So I'm going to show you some of the colorful jewelry that I chose to incorporate into my look, and we'll talk a little bit about how to identify it as well. So let's add to the stage. So this is the panel that I was on with some other fantastic leaders. You see me in a pink blazer. And so the jewelry that I chose to wear, I thought I would coordinate. And so we've got a Victorian brooch, we've got an Art Nouveau pendant, we've got lots and lots of chains, and then we also have some earrings. So fun, fun stuff. But I want to go into the detail as to why I chose these. But first, a question for you all. Do you think the stones are the same in the brooch and the pendant? We see pink stones there, and I will reveal all in just a second. And this is one of my favorite things to chat about because there are so many pink stones and the colors can be very tricky. Is it tourmaline? Is it garnet? Is it rubies? Is it a pink sapphire? It can be incredibly confusing. We've got Carol saying, no, it is not. I'll give you just another moment, and then we're going to take a look at each of these pieces and we will chat about them. Jane says, no, they're not the same. Ray says they are. And Tamara's saying, I'm guessing no, since you asked. Deborah, no, but yes, but probably not. Oh, you guys are fantastic. So it is absolutely a trick question. And this is why it's so important that we really have the ability to examine stones. And it's always great to work with a graduate gemologist to have things tested so that you can make sure you know what you have. So side by side, they are indeed incredibly similar. They could be the same, but they are not. And this is what is fascinating about the way that minerals can represent themselves in different pieces. So the first one we're going to take a look at is a Victorian brooch, and these have rubies, diamonds, and gold. And they are old mine-cut diamonds in the middle. And we've got rubies on the sides, and they glow under UV light. They're very bright. They are the correct hardness for corundum, which is what rubies and sapphires are. But although they appear to be the spitting image, they are not the same as this. This is garnet. So it's fantastic to see that you can actually get very different colors. And this is rhodolite garnet, which is a little bit more of a raspberry hue to it. And this one is circa 1900. So, you know, we're going to go back for just a second. In terms of what the Victorians liked stylistically, they were very, very big in the trefoil shamrock as well. Shamrocks were really for luck, but the trefoil had to do with the Holy Trinity. So you often see this repeated in jewelry for luck as well. Now, this is turn of the century, and it is a Art Nouveau pendant that's got seed pearls that are set in it, as well as these lovely rhodolite garnets, all in gold and all handcrafted. And this one is quite a large and in charge pendant, and I thought that it lent itself really, really well to the look. The sort of openness to it also reminds me a little bit of like a honeycomb look. So it feels a little bit organic, and there's some floral elements into the center too. So I really love this one in terms of how much, dimensionality it has. We're going to remove it for a second, and I'm testing out a new computer today, a new room, different lighting, and I'm curious. Let's see how well we're able to show this on screen, because I am going to be evolving my setup for you all to ensure that we're better able to show you things too. So let's put something black behind this. There we go. Shows you how open it is. I think I still have a ways to go with the camera, but this is getting, I think, a little bit better than previous. So this one is quite large and in charge, and I like to string it on a gold chain so that it has even more dimensionality as well. And I'll place that back down. I see some comments. We've got Bonnie Joe asking if we can discuss gold-filled versus plated, and is it worth collecting? Yes, we absolutely can. And I do have a video all about the difference between rolled gold, gold-filled, gold-plated, electroplated, and we'll do a deep dive. We'll talk about how to test, and everything is worth collecting if you like it. So I will add that caveat right now. Ray is asking, back in that time, garnets were as prized as rubies, or was that earlier? So garnets were absolutely prized, but at the turn of the century, the turn of the 19th century, that was right when they were learning how to create some really fantastic synthetic rubies. So we start to see more and more synthetic rubies, and people loved them because it could really get that clarity. So they had started to become more and more prized as well. Great question. Thank you so much, Bonnie. All right. And then last but not least, we do need to take a look at these Art Deco earrings. So we have some nice old European cut diamonds in the center, and they have a gold color to them with just the lightest sort of lighter wash. And these have the famous ear nuts that allow you to screw them in, and they're the same ones that I have on today. Now, with these screwback pierced earrings, this closure was introduced in 1894. So this is how we can sort of date earrings that have backings like this. And I am quite partial to them because they are very, very secure on your ears. Even today, sometimes with larger diamond earrings, you can see these threaded settings. And the purpose of that is to ensure that they remain really, really secure. If you've never had the pleasure, I'm just going to give you a little demonstration. So I'm twisting and twisting and twisting and twisting and twisting and still twisting. And we're still not off yet. Almost there. Nope. There we go. It takes all of that effort. So if you want a pair of very secure studs that are going to stay in and you are not going to have a chance of losing your diamond, I do strongly recommend that you look for these types of settings. They are among my favorite and they're very, very comfortable. Once upon a time, I was worried to try these because I thought that the post itself might be significantly thicker than other pierced earrings, but that is not the case. And I have very sensitive ears and very tiny little holes. It takes forever, but they are fantastic and worthwhile. And I actually have added, as a small little reward to myself, a new pair into my collection, which is a long ways from me. And I'll share that picture with you now. It's going to be a while before they arrive. They are zircon earrings, and these were a pair that were actually repurposed in, let's call it history, not quite antiquity, but in the 20th century by someone who had two different zircons, slightly different cuts, but she had them made into screwback earrings. So I've got this little ditty on its way to me. But funny story, the seller, who's someone that I've bought things from before, actually was out on business away from her town. So her husband shipped my earrings and someone else's earrings, and he reversed the order. So we ended up with each other's things, and we've been shipping them back and waiting for them to travel. So it's probably going to be another week and a half, maybe two, before they arrive. But when they do, I will absolutely show you. And then we'll talk about the different cuts of the stones and zircons as well. So lots and lots that we're going to cover. Now, since I've been traveling, there's been a need for me to kind of restrict how many pieces of jewelry I bring with me, especially when I'm traveling for conferences. I don't love to have a whole lot on me. I don't like to have to lock it up in the hotel room. It makes me a little bit nervous. So I'm going to click back to a couple of looks that I had put together. As you all know, I'm very, very, very partial to the Edwardian period. I love the white on white look and the laciness. And since my husband can't be with me, I love to wear my wedding ring. So we've got my engagement ring as well as my wedding band that I wear in the opposite hand. By popular demand, I do have to show them. But I decided to pair those with a few other white on white looks. So these were the pieces that have been making them their sort of way in Canada with me through my travels. So we've got the key rings and then a couple of pendants and a brooch as well. So let's talk a little bit about each of these. Now I have laid them out from oldest to most recent, but they're all within definitely a 50-year period of each other. And we're going to talk about these. But first, let's talk about this Edwardian brooch. So it almost looks yellow in this photograph. It is very, very lacy, and it is platinum that is over top yellow gold. And I've got a video that I'm going to share with you right now. So let's take a look. Now, this was very common in order to make sure that they're very lightweight. And these true Edwardian pieces, the older ones, are going to be very, very thin like this. I love it. It's kind of spider webby, and it also has that Greek key design. And to me, that means sort of longevity as well as luck. And so this is a piece that I like to wear a lot on black blazers. I really enjoy wearing that one too with all of my other white on white. Now, this one again was platinum and gold and diamonds. And then we've got some sort of small diamonds, 3 that stud it. And it is a great piece in terms of presence. We've got my ring. So this ring, you'll also notice the pierced work, both in the center as well as around the band and also on the bridge of the ring too. This is made in platinum, and we've got your old European diamonds. We do have some little rose cuts as the halo as well. So this is my engagement ring, and again in platinum. Platinum and platinum always go well together. Sometimes white gold can be a little bit more on the yellow side, which I don't mind at all, but I do like to pair my platinum. Next, we have this Edwardian pendant, and this one probably reminds you just a little bit of the Art Nouveau pendant that I showed you as well. So it's got some dangles and some chains going on, and it is made in platinum with diamonds. This one, the central diamond, so the middle panel, it's actually quite yellow compared to the others, and you can almost sense that with the way it's sort of standing out against the very white platinum. So let's remove that for a second, and to show you, the pieces in the Edwardian era started to get a little bit more demure. So we've got, in terms of size, the much larger Art Nouveau compared to this Edwardian piece as well. But I like this one a lot when I'm wearing it just on black or on skin. And I find that with the bezel settings, they echo the details that are in the rings as well. So that's something that I always gravitate towards. Now, the way we can date that is in part by the pattern, and it's also in part by the materials as well as the cut of the stones. They are not old European stones, they are old minor, so they have a much less symmetrical look to them. And we've done some videos in the past where we talk about the different cuts of diamonds, and we will definitely be touching on that in more detail again. Now, this little ditty, this is rock crystal, gold, and diamonds, and it is an Art Deco pendant. So when you see these, often they're referred to as camphor glass, and often they are indeed camphor glass, or glass that looks like it has been, etched with vapors, and they're beautiful. But you can also find them made of rock crystal as well. So it is definitely worthwhile to test your pieces and find out what you have, because the ones that are made of rock crystal are just a little bit more valuable and very, very special. Ray's asking, pieces that are made of platinum, are they stamped? Sometimes they are not stamped at all. The pieces from, I would say, the early, let's call it early 1930s, late 1920s, usually have an iridium platinum mark if they're from the North American area. And they may be also marked just with the French stamp. So it's really going to depend who made it, when they made it. The lacy brooch has no mark at all. It only has a gold mark, but it does test for platinum as well. Really great questions. So with the camphor glass or rock crystal, what I love about these is that it has a very ghost-like, almost dreamy look to it, and it allows light to go through and also shows skin, or if you're wearing it over a colorful sweater or even a black one, it allows you to see that pattern as well. So in this case, it is a carved piece. And again, for some reason, I seem to go for really big statement pieces for the most part when I'm traveling. Less is more, but bigger is better sometimes. I don't know. I guess that's the way that I was planning. All right. And then last but not least, the youngest of the bunch is in fact my wedding band. So this is an Art Deco ring, and it again has the old European diamonds. You can see the open gullet very clearly smack in that middle diamond. And it echoes with the bezel the same look and feel as my wedding ring, or my engagement ring, which I love very much. So all of this together, this made up a look that I wore quite a bit in the last few weeks. Now, you all know that I cannot resist color. So I did get myself a little congratulations for presenting as keynote at the ETAIL conference gift. And what it was a jelly opal brooch. And this is an antique one. I'm going to share the video with you. They do make really good conversation starters. I fully agree, Deborah, and you know that I'm talking about my passion everywhere I go. So this little beauty is a antique jelly opal brooch, and I wanted to show you a video so that you could actually see the way the light reflects all of those beautiful, beautiful colors. The play of color is quite wonderful. We'll play it one more time. And my tip when buying opals is that you always want to ask for videos. So that way you can see the details in detail. Now, I got this to go with some earrings that I bought myself for presenting at a conference in January that were a good match. And I'm going to share the two together with you now. So we have some late Victorian earrings that have a little bit of a celestial design to them. And then we have this brooch. Again, anytime that you're going to be buying an opal online, do make sure that you ask for videos. And it's also important when you're buying a jelly opal to understand that they can be transparent in different light. So it does also make sense to ask to see pieces, if possible, on different colored backgrounds. Now, I think I took this one over to the bench beside me. Yes, I did. Allow me to get up. It's so nice to have the space to be able to do that. This dressing room is absolutely amazing. So, as you can see here, when it doesn't have a dark background behind it, you don't necessarily see all the colors. And so it is always worthwhile to ask sellers exactly what you're looking for in the cases of I want to see it on a black background, I want to see more details. But this is another piece that I've been wearing together. And so jelly opals typically do not come from Australia. The Australian opals started to become very popular in the latter part of the 19th century. These, though, likely come from Eastern Europe or in that region. So really lovely pieces that I enjoy wearing, and I totally agree with you all. I love a good conversation starter piece of jewelry too. I tend to look at other people's jewelry and chat about it as well. Someone asked, Bonnie Jo, you picked out your own wedding band, I'll bet. You know I did. I was very, very fortunate because I was able to find something on the secondary market that was really good value and echoed, that same bezel setting. So I was very, very fortunate. I found it actually with a seller on Instagram called Knox Jewels, and she was absolutely incredible, very helpful with giving me the specifications, sending me videos and pictures as well. There are some great sellers on there, absolutely. All right, and then last but not least, I love pearls. So very easy pieces to travel with that don't usually get you stopped when you're going through the scanners at the airport is a pearl set. And so these are modern pearls that I have been wearing. It is an Akoya pearl necklace and earrings, and they're pearls and gold, and they are incredibly reflective. So I'm going to try to show you when you have Akoya pearls, there we go. You can really see how much they reflect, and that goes into the quality of them. And I love a fairly big pearl. So these are 8.5 to 9 millimeters with earrings that match. And this, of course, goes with absolutely everything. So that is the last jewelry item that I always make sure that I pack alongside, of course, some plain gold chains. All right. Now, we are going to have some fun because we are in my sister's jewelry box. And I thought that we would take a look at some of her pieces. Right behind me, right here, this is a box, and we have some necklaces in it. And I haven't done too deep of a dive, but we're going to grab a few and we're going to look at them together. Now, one of my favorites, which you may not expect, is this plastic piece. I love early plastics. I love late plastics as well. But this is a very neon encased in clear plastic set. And it's one that she found that she wears. She wears a lot of like bright colors like this, but note how it floats, and it almost feels like they're bubbles and that they're very, very space age. So this is a really fun piece. And if I were her, I would wear it with some black and white. I feel like this stands out really, really well. It's not signed, just has a simple, simple clasp, but it is beautiful length. And so keep your eyes open. You never know where you're going to find something. She is like a master thrifter. She finds things absolutely all over. I'm going to try not to talk away from the speaker because I'm not sure how well that will work. So I'll try to make sure I'm facing forward. I'm going to grab another necklace. You all know how much I love glass, and I think that that is something that is with all the women in the family. So we're going to grab a couple of glass necklaces to look at next. Okay. One I'm partial to because I gifted it to her. We'll look at that second. But what I wanted to take a look at was this fantastic strand. And we're going to talk just for a moment about Murano glass and how special it is. So one of the best known makers of Murano glass is Ercole Moretti, and the Moretti family has multiple generations of glassmakers that have been making special beads like this. And he opened up shop really in 1911 in Italy. And the beauty is that they use morini, which they create out of canes of glass, to create these beautiful detailed beads. And what they do is that they sort of create the little marinis, they slice them, they apply them, and then they melt them on beads like this. And the Moretti school has a few distinct patterns which you can tell are their beads. And I haven't looked at this one before in detail, but I'm going to have to do it after. There's different star patterns. There's a pattern that is known as like a chicken comb. And that can help determine who the maker is on beads like this. Now, there's a few terms for us to keep in mind. There's morini, which is the name of the tiny little pieces that are going to be sliced up and applied to these beads. There's also millefiori, because these are often known as millefiori. But millefiori means millions of flowers. And sometimes when they're a flower design, that's exactly what they can be, but they are not always flowers, which is very interesting too. And the company still operates today, and you can buy Moretti glass in Murano, Italy. Next, we're going to take a look at this special piece. So this, and I should have brought a UV light with me, is UV reactive, and it is quite beautiful. We've got sort of a peach glass that is encasing a green glass as well. And it is strung on a thin, thin chain. And this one just glows beautifully and also just catches the light really beautifully as well. Yes, exactly, Jane. You can absolutely get faces and all sorts of very, very high quality pieces. Okay, let's see what else she's got. I'm gonna hang these back up. Now, a word to the wise, it's not always a good idea to hang up your necklaces. So if they're on a silk, I wouldn't hang them. That can actually stretch them. Chains are okay. I prefer to lay them down. This is a conversation that I've also had. Yes, indeed, Ray. That is Vaseline glass. Excuse me. All of this traveling and I've got a little something in my throat. All right. Something that she's been collecting for a while, and I'm going to grab a few handfuls, are Moonglow and Lucite. And we're going to talk about the difference. So in the 1940s and 1950s in particular, new plastic was very, very popular. And you would see all sorts of different beads, kind of like these. You see how it has like an effervescence and like a shiller to it. Well, this one is sort of a marbleized version, which sometimes is also known as granite. This is not confetti. So confetti lucite would actually look like pieces of confetti. And then the Moonglow lucite looks much more like a moonstone. And that's what these two examples in pink and blue are, which were also very popular colors. So as you can see, the way the light hits these is absolutely stunning and beautiful. And we'll take a look at the clasp on this one too, because it is beautifully done. There we have it, a nice insert closure. And I love how these were made to be graduated lengths, so they really sit beautifully on the collar. Now, I enjoy that she's got a very similar strand in blue. Again, take a look at how that glows. And the better quality pieces will have almost no seam to it. So it seems like it just simply glows from within. And these remained popular through the 1940s, 1950s, a little bit into the 60s as well. And by the 70s, there were very few makers still making them. Exactly, they are lovely candy pieces. Now, speaking of candy pieces or food pieces, she has a very special fruit salad necklace that we're going to take out next. It is not hanging, it is laying down as it should be, and it is glass and very special. And I believe it's in this drawer. We will take it out. I'm really lucky that she's letting me play in her things. All right, take a look at this and take a look at the quality of the workmanship. I'm going to start by showing you the clasp, and then we're going to take a look to the side of these swirled hand-spun beads. Can you see how there's like layers inside them? It's almost like a white and a green as well as clear that's been swirled. They're so beautiful. And next, as we go into the different stations, we start with these green beads on the side and then some very, very detailed little fruit. Fun fact, fruit salad, as in the dessert or salad, started to become popular only around the 1900s, and that was because people were beginning to travel more, so they had exposure to tropical fruit as they traveled, sometimes on ships and cruise ships. This is a barrel clasp closure, right? I will open it up in just a second. We've got some lemons here, some oranges. Now, fruit salad necklaces and jewelry became very popular because of Carmen Miranda, and she had her fruit headdress. And so all sorts of jewelry were made, some of it with glass like this one. And here I'm going to show you, this is just a barrel closure. Sometimes they were made of papier-mâché, and they were very prone to breaking. Aha, this shows it off very nicely. And later on, sometimes they were even made of early plastics as well, especially in the 40s, 50s, but 1960s to 1980s saw a lot of the plastics made. Speaking of plastics, I've got a doozy in here to show you. But first, I'm going to share the earrings that come with this set. What is really nice is that the designer chose not to make them identical. Instead, the designer chose to use the same beads from the necklace, but to add interest on these clip-on earrings, what they did was they used a variety of different beads. So this one is one of each of the different fruits, and this one focused it on the oranges. So when you wear them, again, the perfect conversation pieces as well. Beautifully made. And I'm going to make sure I put those back into the plastic baggies. She does take very good care of her things, which I know everyone that is watching this certainly can appreciate, so that we can pass them on to other generations. Now, while of lower value, no less interesting is this. Now, tell me what you think. Do you think this is a fruit salad necklace? we're going to look at it in detail. This one is made of plastic, and it is later. At home, I actually have a very similar one made of milk glass and glass. And while you are correct, this one can be considered fruit salad if we look really close. These are actually vegetables. So we've got a corn on the cob. We've got a tomato. We've got a squash. And what I love about the plastic on this is that they are marbleized as well. We've got, I'm going to call this a head of lettuce. And they repeat. Now, in the 1950s and 60s, food was absolutely showcased in jewelries. People also loved anthropomorphic sort of prints. You can see the coolest like napkins or different like pot warmers made of vegetables with faces. Lots and lots of fun. And you are absolutely right, Bonnie. Tomatoes are indeed a fruit. So this is a fun piece as well. All right. And last but not least, we are going to look at something really special in her collection, which is a necklace that is made of paper. And this was done by an African women's collective, I should say, where they taught them to make beads, and then they began to make jewelry, which they would sell so that they could fund things for themselves and their community. And so this is actually paper that has been glazed, and it is relatively lightweight, and it's hard to see the detail, but essentially it is a ethically made, sustainably made piece of artwork that also supports the women's collective, which I think is really, really special. And it's a beautiful piece, quite long. All right, let's hang this back up. Let me know if you think that I should go through more of her jewelry on another day, because I'll have the opportunity. I'll be in town much more often. They are exactly, Jane. Paper beads, they're very special. Now, I have a few more special announcements to make. Please make sure that you type your hashtag win in so that you have a chance to win a mug. We've got 23 entries, but you may have noticed in the thumbnail that we have an extra special looking piece of dragon's breath glass. Well, it is time to talk about what this is. And this is the Sundae Baubles Community Marketplace that I am really, really excited to announce to you all. So, many of you have asked for a place where you can buy and sell with each other. And so what I've done is I've partnered with District, and I've been sharing this with the Extra Scoop Club for some time. So they've been able to create accounts and even set themselves up as sellers. And the point is that you are able to sell your items, put them up with pictures and videos, and make them available if you would like to be able to do so. So let me share the URL. It is district.net/sundaebaubles. And I'll make sure that we share this URL inside the write-up for the brunch too. And so in this platform, what you will see is that it is essentially a community marketplace where everyone is eligible to apply to sell and then list their items. You can buy items, and it also gives you access to other folks that like to sell and buy as well. So I'm going to share my screen. Please bear with me as I share the community marketplace so that you can see what it looks like. We've got 31 members right now and quite a few sellers. And once you join, you can also post things for identification support, in search of, if there's anything that you're looking for, if you want to share your fabulous finds for the week, or if you want to share your links to your stores, you are absolutely eligible to do that. We also have listings. So here's a fantastic fun vintage necklace that is available from one of our members. We've got costume jewelry. We've got fine jewelry as well. Here's another beautiful antique Art Deco gold and sapphire filigree brooch. There's a couple of things that I've posted too, like this tanzanite ring and an Aries gold ring. And if you are interested, you are absolutely welcome to join us here. What you are also able to do, which is very cool, is when you are looking at a piece, if there's something that you're interested in, you can make an offer on it. So let's see if I can take you in. If, for example, you like something and you don't like the price, all of the sellers who have put a send offer option welcome you to send an offer and see if you can land on a deal that you're interested in. And overall, there is many other communities within District. So if you collect other things too, whether it's glass or maybe it's sports cards or other memorabilia, you'll be able to find all sorts of cool treasures. So this is something that I've been working on for all of you, and I welcome you to check out District. Again, our URL is going to be district.net/sundaebaubles. So by all means, please check it out, and you can also post your questions, and we will be able to have a little bit of an interactive community there as well. So that's one of the things that I've been working on with our Extra Scoop Club members, and we believe it is ready for you all to come and check it out now. It is not just for North America. However, they are slowly opening up to other areas. So I believe that right now it is Canada, the US, and they've either just opened or are about to open for Australia and New Zealand too. So hang in there. They're working to continue to expanding that. And if there is something on there and it doesn't ship to your area or you have any issues, by all means, please reach out to us or message the seller and they may be able to work with you too. All right. Without further ado, we will absolutely do our draw. So enter #win, and we are going to give away some mugs. And again, the winners will have choice between Sundae Baubles Classic and the Sweet Treats mug. So get that #win in. I'm going to share the giveaway tool screen. Yeah, Ray, I totally understand. Yes, in the UK, sometimes it's a little late to get into the party. Sometimes it's not the UK's fault. But there are all sorts of different shipping legislations or regulations for different countries or different zones. So that's part of what has slowed them down a little bit. But if there is an area that you would like to see them focus on, we can absolutely bring that up to their attention as well. Okay, I am going to share my screen again so that we can take a look at who has entered. We've got 29 entries, and I will count down from 10, and we will do the first draw. We'll go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And remember, everybody's eligible to enter. And if you win, I will cover the shipping and get your mug shipped out to you. So let's do the first draw. We're going to do 2 today for your kindness and support over the last month as I've been traveling and working hard. And our winner is Carol Thomas. Congratulations, Carol. Please let me know in the chat which mug you would like, whether it's the Sweet Treats or the Classic. And we're going to do one more draw. And here it comes, and I am marking down Carol. And our second winner is Finding Our Someday at 70. I love that name. That's fantastic. Congratulations to both of our winners. So please let me know which mug you would prefer. And again, your choice is the Sweet Treats and Treasures or the Sundae Baubles Classic. And if you don't want to make your decision just yet, that's absolutely fine. You can email me at sundaebaubles@gmail.com, and I will work with you to help you select your mug, and we will get it shipped to your address. So I will keep my eye on the chat. Now, in terms of what is coming up next, we can see there's a clear camera on this computer. Very exciting. I've also bought a piece of equipment that is going to allow us to get really, really in-depth and close into pieces. And it is a microscope that allows you to record the details. So when I get home from this leg of my onboarding trip, I am going to be taking some videos of the Georgian jewelry that I am working on a very detailed Sunday brunch for, so that we can take you through all of the spectacular details and craftsmanship, take a look at what it looks like when something's foil backed, take a look at the details when it's collet set, and we'll get you in super close. Thank you, finding our Sundae at 70. That's perfect. And so my goal is that with better equipment, we'll be able to get you in even closer and continue with our education and help make identifying true antiques easier than ever before for you all. Ooh, Deborah is asking for a good costume jewelry history book. Now, the thing about costume jewelry history is that it is very varied. And so when I say that, we've got many costume jewelry designers that have actually worked at multiple different houses, that have signed and unsigned pieces. So I will put together a little bit of a list, but there is a website which is fantastic for costume jewelry. So I'll share that in a post. And they also do list some different references. That way, depending on whether you want to do a deep dive on a specific designer, or if you want to kind of span a little bit more, maybe the decades, the way I do when I talk about antique and vintage jewelry, you can do that as well. Ray says his Victorian jewelry book arrived. I'm so glad that you're enjoying it. I know it's hard when they do some of their catalog illustrations that are in black and white and not in color. I love it when they were all, or if they were all in color too, but sometimes we have no choice but to use our imagination. Awesome. All right. So please stay tuned. There will be a new post for our next live, which will be that deep dive on Georgian jewelry. And I will share the details on our extra scoop plans for the end of this month, maybe early November, but we will be getting together and doing our shows and tells. You're more interested in the materials than the designers. Perfect. Feli Faye, it is a book that includes 5 different catalogs of jewelry makers from the Victorian period. So it's right around the turn of the 19th century, and includes Saunders and Shepherds and a few others. I don't have the book with me, but in our last live, I believe I showcased it. But if you would like more information, I'd be happy to send it to you too. So please reach out at sundaebaubles@gmail.com. All right. I think that is going to be it for today. I need to do a little bit of grocery shopping to set myself up for the week before I fly home on Friday and see my husband, who I have been missing. But if there's anything that you need, please don't hesitate to get in touch. I am here for you all, and I cannot wait to jump back into this with 2 feet and to keep you posted on all of the adventures. The good news is that with a little bit more frequent traveling, I should have a little bit more time for writing when I'm on the plane, so that'll allow me to put more posts up, and I'll have more access to flea markets and antique markets too, so we can go on some great adventures together. All right, everybody, have a fantastic week ahead and take care of yourselves. See you soon. Bye-bye, everybody.